We're back at the yard. It still doesn't quite feel real. I don't know what we've gotten ourselves into. I think Jeff has a good idea, but this is all new territory for me, so I'm excited. It's starting to feel like it's happening. It's felt like we've been on vacation for the last month and a half, traveling all over the country, and it feels good to finally be here. This feels like the beginning, so we are so excited. I can't wait to show you guys around. Jeff will do a tour. I'll be behind the camera and excited to get this going. So this is the first of probably a couple of different tours that we'll take you on of our boat. I'm gonna be behind the camera, Jeff's gonna be guiding you on this tour, and we'll show you what it looks like now, and we'll give you updates as we make changes and improve this boat.
Awesome. We're gonna start in the aft cockpit today. As you can see, there's plastic up everywhere. We are having the boot stripe repainted right now, and so that should be done by morning, and possibly the transom also will get the blue by sometime tomorrow. So super exciting. Stepping in through the aft door, we're in the main salon, and we're going to keep for now the couch. We're gonna have this cleaned and see what we can do with it. Over here on port side, we've got about a 42-inch pop-up TV in a cabinet here with a little bit of electronics up front. Right now, we have a formal dining area. We're gonna pull this and we're gonna drop in a little Danish recliner and a rug and an end table, make this a really nice little reading and sitting area. And also this will be the bad weather yoga room or any other multi-purpose room we want to do. Wet bar to port. We're going to have liquor storage. We've got a little fridge in here, sink. This is the space for the Sub-Zero wine refrigerator, which the box is still here. It gave 24 years and that was all it had. It's dead. We've got a new KitchenAid unit going in with a stainless space, which gives it a little bit more modern appearance. It's actually in the warehouse right now, so we're going to try to get that on today or tomorrow. Nice little china cabinet here that we're going to use for probably some additional bar storage and some display, and of course the patented Marlow pass-through to the pilot house. The literal pass-through. Okay, so now we're in the pilot house. We've got our galley, 2 refrigerator, 2 freezer drawers. We've got a bread warmer, storage, microwave, oven. This is right now a traditional old school solid surface cooktop. We are going to be replacing this with an induction model that is already on its way here. At the sink, we'll be making a few changes. We'll be going to a commercial faucet. We're also going to be going to a 2-outlet reverse osmosis system that uses both pure reverse osmosis for things like making tea, putting in the espresso machine, but also has a remineralization feature so that you get nice, healthy drinking water. Moving forward, this is where we're going to be spending the bulk of our time underway. The settee is lacking cushions right now, and the helm seat is missing. Those are both over at Miami Prestige Interiors. We are getting new cushions and new upholstery. That should be ready just over a week from now. Really looking forward to the way that looks. Moving forward, we're going to go down to the lower deck where all of the 3 staterooms are. Here we are in the lower hallway. We've got 3 staterooms. We're going to start with the mid stateroom, or the third stateroom. This is the smallest of the 3. It has still, though, somewhere between an extra long full and a queen berth. That was modified from the original. Most of these have crisscrossed bunks. So this is definitely something that changed, and you can tell that by looking at the drawers below. They're set quite a bit back from the edge of the bed. There is a full wet head in this stateroom. This commode is actually shared with the master, which technically has 2 heads, 1.5 maybe. We'll go into that a little bit more once we get in there, but you can go through a door here in the head and access one of the master showers. We've got some storage behind the door, and it's a fairly decent space. This is also going to be our recording studio for Steph to do her voiceover work and fix all the mistakes that I make with proper terminology and her immense voice talent. Here we are in the VIP stateroom. This is the forward stateroom. If you're very nice to us, you might be able to stay right here. Nice open area. This model has additional storage in lieu of the small kids bunks above, which for us was a plus. The VIP also has its own ensuite head that doubles as a day head with 2 sets of doors, full stand-up shower, and enough room for me at 6'4" to stand up, although not a lot of headroom above me. Now, I may or may not be a never nude. You'll just have to watch Arrested Development to find out. But you can see plenty of room in the shower. Here we are in the master stateroom. We've got a short king bed, coincidentally exactly as long as and so I may have to sleep a little diagonal, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. We have a his and hers head, where the forward head is a shower and lavatory, and it shares the commode with the third stateroom. And then the aft head actually has a makeup area and a bathtub, which is pretty rare on this size of a boat. And then we have an office and washer, dryer, laundry center aft of the stateroom connected. And then directly behind here is the full beam fuel tank, 1,500 gallons, and engine room and crew quarters behind that, accessible from the main salon. So we're in the port aft corner of the main salon. This is the access to the engine room and crew quarters. They did it a little bit differently on various versions of the boat. Some accessible in the aft cockpit, some from within the main salon. I actually prefer this a little bit because you don't have to go outside to get right down to the engine room. So it's a little bit tight space, so you can follow me down. So here we are in the crew quarters, 2 single berths, port and starboard, and then what is right now a couch that can fold out to make a 3rd berth. I got to tell you, that would be really tight down here. This is going to become our shop and supply storage primarily. I think we're going to leave 1 couch and then put a toolbox right where I'm sitting, and then just line both berths with plastic tubs filled with different tools. And then there is a wet head. I don't know if I can stand up in here or not. It would be funny though if I tried. Here we are in the wet head. Funny enough, I can still stand up in here. I'm actually in the pop-up at the aft docking station that you can see from the aft cockpit. So kind of nice, even though there's not much headroom in the crew quarters, you can still have a stand-up shower. I hit my head on that every time. I'm putting a foam pad on that. Here we are in the engine room. Not quite enough headroom for me to stand. They corrected that on the Mark II, and all we would have to do is pay double for that. So I'm going to slouch down a little bit in here. I think that'll be just fine. Cat 3406 Echo, main engines, 800 horsepower apiece. in reportedly very good condition, two 20 kilowatt Northern Lights diesel generators, and then we also have a 60 kilowatt hour lithium battery system and 20 kilowatts of inversion that will run the boat for 16-18 hours minimum without the generators, including full AC in the tropics. So very fortunate to have that fairly recent addition to the boat. I have so many projects I want to do in this room, I can't even write them all down. So I will be spending quite a lot of time in here, improving things, cleaning things up, labeling everything, making sure all the cable ties and clamps meet ABYC standards, making sure all the connections are competent and secure, and about 1,000 other things. So that's our boat tour for today. Very quick and dirty. There's a lot that we're going to update. We didn't bother trying to pick up at all, but I wanted to be able to document where we started for 3 years from now when we look back at it and realize how far we've come.
If by quick and dirty you meant long, hot and sweaty, that was today's boat tour. Hopefully the next one will be in the water with some AC going and not beads of sweat. Ouch. So I think this is Jeff's first official project on the boat. He's taking out the trash compactor that was next to the sink and replacing it with an ice maker because he loves his craft drinks and definitely needs an ice maker. So he's been working all night last night. We're down here in Fort Lauderdale. The boat is still in the yard, but he worked all night last night to get the trash compactor out. We just, the yard helped us with a forklift and they brought up the ice maker to the boat where we could grab it and brought that in. So now Jeff is working on, I think, connecting everything. So his first big project, you can see we're just doing a bunch of what we can on the boat to help get it ready while it's in the yard. The ice maker, I know he wants to get the wine fridge replaced, and then probably a few other things that he had told you guys about in the tour. And of course behind me you can see there's no helm seat. That's at the upholstery shop. And then the settee, you should probably be able to see that back there. The settee has no cushions, so that's also the upholstery shop. We should get that back next Thursday, the Thursday coming up. So we should have that soon. So stuff is happening and we cannot wait to get out onto the water.
All right, welcome to Boat Building 101. This space had a door that's back in the settee. They put in a trash compactor, and then they put the double bowl sink and the countertop on later, and it jammed the trash compactor in there with absolutely zero extra clearance. It had a trim ring all the way around that came up about 1/4 inch, which is just enough to where you can't pull the trash compactor straight out. And who has a trash compactor anymore? So this should be an ice maker. Luckily it's the exact same dimensions. Now we have a KitchenAid ice maker, except I've got mainly residential connections, so I need to turn residential connections into more secure double clamped marine connections, and that takes a bunch of extra parts. So I'm measuring and putting a list together and adding to Amazon, and all that should be done by Tuesday. So until then I'm going to tempt fate and try to tuck this back in and see if it fits, and if not, we're going to have a whole other set of problems. That's all I know. Welcome to Custom Boats.
Yesterday we had some help with a forklift to bring in a bunch of our boxes with our belongings. So we are going to be packing stuff up today. So we are finally starting to make this feel like home. We had some trouble with the van. We've been here a few days. We're walking to pick up some mail. This Marina Mile Yachting Center has become our home for the last few days, and a few more it's gonna take, in addition to the Hyatt Hotel. What are we looking at?
Okay, so this is the starboard prop shaft. The port shaft is already at the machine shop. This is starboard, so there's a lot of critical things about it. The port shaft was a little bit bent. We don't think the starboard shaft is, and actually the port shaft, once they got it in the machine shop, the numbers are better. The starboard shaft has the same things that the port shaft did, so at the aft end here, this is where it sits in the aft bearing, and you can see some really just surface scoring. However, the prop shaft seals on the fore end, both seals were leaking, and over time that has led to pitting and corrosion, which if you'll come around this side, all that pitting and corrosion, they'll have to machine that down, put an overlay on, and then bring it back to original factory specs. So that is definitely heading to the machine shop, hopefully today.
This was one of Jeff's projects yesterday. He put in a new faucet for the sink, and it looks fabulous. We're replacing all the little O-rings on the shelf holders. It's very technical. Is that it?
Yep, 18,000 BTUs of pure ice making power. Installed.
Wait, don't you need to screw it in or something?
Nah, it's good. I'll see you guys later. Perfect.
Good morning. It is a new day. It is raining. We are still here in Fort Lauderdale. We're heading to the boatyard again. We've been working on it pretty hard the last few days. I've lost track of how many days we've been here. Just been doing projects, cleaning, organizing. Jeff's already been able to put in the reverse osmosis filter at the sink with a remineralization filter for our drinking water. He's put in a new faucet. He got the ice maker in. What else did he do? He sanded and the closets and put some new cedar oil on them so they smell really good in the master. And what else have you done so far, Jeff?
Well, it's Groundhog Day again, I guess.
It is
We've
Groundhog
just
Day.
been working throughout the boat. A lot of cleanup, a lot of fixing little things. Got some new light fixtures to install, got some bulbs to replace, and then a lot of just adjusting doors and replacing latches and general maintenance. So it's been a job.
It's been a job, but we're making good progress inside, which is all we can do because the boat is still in the yard. So they're doing a lot of work to getting the shafts. We showed you that already. Getting the shafts fixed up and bottom job and everything else. So hopefully we'll get into the water pretty soon here. Fingers crossed. We are just dying to get on the water. So to the boatyard again. Here we go. We just got back from lunch and found that we have bottom paint on the boat.
Okay, this is the first coat of bottom paint. They put on the barrier coat, and you can see the little bit of silver between the boot stripe and the black. That is the barrier coat. This will be the first of 2 coats of bottom paint that go on, and that'll be done way before the prop shafts are. So we're in the yard until those come back.
All right, new day, who dis? We are back at the boatyard again. And today we're gonna take the cushions that we got from the upholstery shop yesterday. We're gonna bring those, put those onto the boat today. We've got some more stuff that we're gonna unload, pack onto the boat. And I'll ask Jeff what kind of projects we got going on. He knows the details on the boat stuff. So Jeff, what's going on? What's on tap for the boat today?
I think today's going to be a pretty light day for us. We've been working really hard and I've got some other things that need to get done. There were 3 transducers for the boat. 2 of them were dead and looked to be original to the boat, and then a third had been installed, probably because they didn't want to try to replace the 2 that were there. So we're glassing over 2 of those and replacing the third with the right transducer. However, when we pulled the transducer, we started to see water dripping out of the foam core. We knew that one transducer had been leaking for a while, we just didn't know how long, so now we've got to wait for the water to come out of the foam and that area to kind of dry out a little bit. So that's the big project right now on the boat. They did a little touch-up painting yesterday on the flag blue and got the first coat of bottom paint on. I think the second coat on today. Still continuing to work on the topside paint. There's a possibility we might get a name on the boat today, but that is uncertain yet. And we've just been taking care of a lot of little projects inside, finding stripped screws where I have to go and drill out the wood, put in a wood dowel, glue it in, let it dry, drill a new pilot hole, and then it holds a screw. Just 24 years of wear and tear. And so that's what we have on tap for today. Look at the size of these O-rings. What? Get back down there. Well, as you can see, the helm seat is gorgeous. Miami Prestige did a perfect job on the helm seat. Beautiful. Over at the dinette, the corner cushion is a little bit the wrong radius, and so that's causing some wrinkles in the backrest. We've got a little bit of a misalignment of the seams and maybe a little bit oversized cushion here at the main, and then that's causing, I think, these last radius and short cushions to be a little bit out of whack. And so we've sent those pictures over to Miami Prestige. They've got a stellar reputation, so we're not worried at all about them making it right. It's just one of those things with custom upholstery that sometimes it takes a little bit of adjustment. Luckily, I think most of these cushions or the material's a little bit too long, too much, and so we're going to move the right direction. It's a whole lot easier to cut things down slightly than it is to add material back. So we've texted them. Hopefully they can jump right on it Monday morning. I would expect they're going to send one of their team out to take a look at it, make some notes in the field, take some of the cushions back to the shop, and it shouldn't take more than a day or so to get everything wrapped up. So hopefully that all goes well, but we'll let you know how that turns out in next week's video. Thanks a lot.